Okay, we are live, and we'll give the people a few moments to chime into the live stream. I'm excited. I'm feeling
Yes,
good. This first live stream of the sun.
yes, we're excited. Welcome everybody to our first live stream. You're number one. You're the first ones.
Yeah, whoever jump in. All right, so today we're going to be with LaOta of the Sun, and we're going to be doing a live reading for the Call for the Truth book. And before we dive into it, I want to make sure we share some updates with you guys, for what's happening with Of the Sun. We have a robust list of classes and workshops that are taking place. You can visit the Of the Sun website. You can also visit the Instagram at Sundome, Sundome, for both the Sundome Studios, excuse me, for both local and virtual classes that are held throughout the week. Yeah, because we got classes on Sundays, we got classes on Saturdays now. It's getting robust. I understand, LaOta, you have an insignia class coming up. You
I
mind
do.
sharing just a little bit about that?
I'm very excited to start teaching about the insignias that you may have seen in some of our other promos. These insignias represent the communications from the interdimensional world, from the nature spirits. These are crop circles that have been rendered and have been brought forward as aspects of creation through the nature spirits to communicate with us. Each of these powerful insignias carries a certain frequency of power that is can be felt very clearly. So this is a very interesting class. I think you'll find it wonderful. And if you've ever wondered about crop circles, we'll be telling you quite a bit about crop circles, my relationship with them, the many decades and years I've spent with working with this level of intelligence, and how all of you can be part of this and how you can tap into it in the class.
Well, certainly.
Yes.
So again, exciting because I know there's a lot of people who've been wanting to work with them and like, how do these things work? And
Yeah.
how do I turn on this multidimensional technology? Cool beans.
Yes.
So we also have a DNA activation class that's coming up. That's something
Yes.
I'll be leading, and
Yes.
it's an honor and a privilege because that's how I met you,
Yes.
through DNA. It's
Right.
like, who can do DNA activation? And then over a decade later, the baton was passed to me to do it. So
Yes.
thank you. So for those who are listening, we're going to be turning this into a class instead of just the activation of the service, because there has to be a focus on the replication of the DNA and sustaining that multidimensional experience and continuing to move deeper into it. So you have any additional thoughts on that?
Yes, I think it's so important. I was obsessed in the early years after the harmonic convergence after 1993 with the whole idea of DNA. And I did it many times through many different services. And what I found was that even though you are connected, there has to be adhering behavior. There has to be adhering understandings that keep you in the frequencies of the connection to the higher dimensional realm and the our celestial ancestors through our DNA. So that is what you'll be teaching, and that's very exciting for people. And this is not what's usually done in a DNA connection experience.
No, it's just you're connected and figure it out. So
yes.
Also, aside from that, we're doing light body movement. So for those who may not be aware, we are activating the light body every month in a group session where we're meeting bi-weekly on Sunday in the evening and going into expansion to cultivate the energy vortexes so that we can move into a sense of wholeness instead of the separation that we're experiencing. You mind sharing a little bit about the light body, what you've noticed with the class so far?
Well, what I'd like to share is that the light body is the material. It is the light is the material that constructs, nourishes, sustains all physical matter. And that we have not been taught how to access more of it or how to maintain what we already have. So this movement will be the beginning of worldwide adherence to the original template of the human. We are luminous beings, and we are resuscitating that reality.
Well, certainly.
Yes, I'm excited.
Yeah. So if anyone's interested in getting lit, activating that light body. Join us. And again, it is in the most practical sense where you can leave your experience feeling the energy. And that's part of our goal, to where it's not just something in the background, but we're living it. So thank you again. Okay, and so we got a couple of people in the live stream. So welcome everybody again for joining us. And so LaOta will be doing a reading in the Call for the Truth book. And if there's any questions and there's any comments, we have the chat open. We're monitoring it. I see a couple of people are there. Invocation Veritas, Happy Tuesday, Project Executive, Kundalini Kitties in the house. There's several different people, more people joining. So LaOta, would you mind kicking us off with the excerpt you wanted to bring forth today?
I am reading the Call for Truth book that was written in 2022. I'm starting on page 6, and it just so happens to begin, once upon a time. Once there was a balance. The genders were properly combined. We accessed more power through both those hormonal lines. The polarities, both binaries, were as equal as one. These are principles of creation brought forward into physical form. The feminine was not as we appear today. We were the idea of power to birth thoughts into being, with the potential for XX and XY beings. Informed by the masculine to direct the creation into all physical beings. The great separation between the divine principles took place, leaving humanity out of balance, reeling in space. The script of the apple was flipped. It was not she who adhered to deceit and jealousy. It was Adam who became negatively influenced and accepted a distorted perception of truth. In many other galaxies, worlds were lost. Other civilizations have also fallen victim to this same narrative attacking of the polarities of creation. The two together are the law that creates balance. The way to regain balance in the world is to have unwavering respect and honor. Only in oneness will we see the divine creation principles within ourselves and call back our balance with the masculine and the feminine from within. We must call forth the balance, power, and alignment of the feminine principle to strengthen our world. We were systematically taught to follow the faithful and faithfully serve and give over our authorship of writing our own soul books. We were taught that they are the power and we were not. Woman should know her place, and it was on her back. None were to be considered divine unless they gave birth without touching a man. All things in nature were perfect, in fact, except women who were dangerous and to be forcibly kept back. All men agreed, and so it was, that her story was erased. Humans have not known our true selves for millions of years, of our magnificent capacities, which far exceed the altered, myopic, unauthorized versions of our hidden and forgotten histories. Our birthright is magic, was given by the dark richness of earth to house our divine entities, which was stolen and usurped by apex predators, visitors seeking victims on earth. We lost the divine scope of our humanity when we lost our feminine balance. We became prey without stability of both polarities. Grave injustice has been done. We call for the ancestors to right the wrongs, to help us regain the planet and our power. It is clear that honor and respect must be restored to release the death grip and the cruelty that enslaved humanity to the tyranny of a kind of man. We must call back balance and unify our divine and masculine principles in equality to fight for our existence. We are Mother Earth and our Father Son. We are one. We must be in reverence to all consciousness with respect and step back into power that is now a lost regret. Shall you not take what I shall not give you? That taking was the dark injustice that was done, that systematically destroyed all records that would connect us to the ancient ancestors with the remembrance of pride that would spark us to come alive. So that's a short excerpt from our small little book called Call for the Truth.
All right, so it looks like there's a couple of people in the chat. Much love to you too. Oh, Madam Mystic Noir, Kundalini Kitty, LaOta, you are so beautiful. Literally goals. Okay.
Thank you, thank you.
All right. The crowd's loving you.
Thank you.
Well, the book or the excerpt that you read, this is somewhat of a telling of ancient humanity's history.
Yes.
It's funny when you said it was not Eve, it was Adam. And I had this thought, I heard someone say this. It's like, is that why we have the Adam's apple in our throat? Like, is that a thing? I don't know. But to really get to the point that you mentioned that there's a force that came in and influenced us. Would you talk a little bit about that?
This is not, this is something that can be proven through ancient texts all over the world, from South America to the Middle East, to all the different areas, the islands in the Philippines. All of the ancient texts speak of the visitors who came. We had visitors who were off-world, who came from other planets, who were already in a war over the territory of Earth. We are cosmic beings with universal inheritances. Earth was seeded from many different places, but when we came here, the territory was already in a skirmish between different fractions, and their desire to have gain over land included the living things on the land, the trees, the animals, and the humanoids, and the interdimensional beings. So all of these things were cultivated to their will, and it has only recently stopped being a very acute situation. We find ourselves in the moment of generations of 10,000 generations of families and DNA that have adhered to the conqueror's will. So it looks chaotic because they are not actually here anymore. However, their instruction through the DNA still exists. So people, the idea of greed, the idea of fighting amongst people because of different races, the idea of women not having an appropriate place. Everything on the planet is excellent. Everything is beautiful. Everything is perfect, but not women. That's not from humans. You know, even the fact that we kill each other in war on Earth, everything has to learn to kill. It is not born killing. So when you look at a baby lion, the mother teaches it to, in this world, to eventually learn to kill, to eat. In the same way, we send our children to teach them to learn to kill for our government's territories. In the same way that the internet teaches our children to be serial killers in the high schools. This is not human nature. This is part of what was cultivated. So I think, did I answer your?
Most certainly.
Yeah.
And it's kind of gotten my mind in other directions. I just want to check in to see if anyone has any comments. We got a number of viewers. Again, thank you all for joining us for our first live stream. And if you have some questions regarding what you read, please chime in, let us know. Ashe, an Islamism family from Baltimore.
Yay.
We see you out there. We appreciate you. So, again, speaking on what came into humanity's experience, talk a little bit about the hatred for women. Might as well, because you do elaborate quite a bit on that and how it's systematic or systemic, where you see it within the workplace, you see it within religion. It's pretty much everywhere within the human experience. I feel like you already, before I can get the question, go ahead. You, because we're one mind. We pick up on the thoughts.
Well, it is. We are in respect of the divine masculine and the divine feminine because they are one. They are two polarities of the same creation principle. It is not Father, Son, and Holy Ghost. It is Mother, Father, Child. And that's the perfect example of how can we erase women from the creation. I know, we'll call it a ghost. We'll say the father had the child somehow with the ghost. And that's how that went. So that's just another iteration of the many things that have been done to our language and to us to make us favor thinking less of ourselves. The good news is that we are currently on a trajectory to a golden age where that will not exist. And it is important that we be in honor, respect, and gratitude to self, so that we have it within us to give to others. Our children, our male children, our partners, our fathers, we want to be that, and we call for them to give us integrity, discipline, and action. So we are calling forth the divine principles, not all that there is, but major divine principles that we don't see: integrity, discipline, and action. We see the opposite of that. We don't see in ourselves honor, respect, and gratitude for the divinity with which we are made. How much of us don't we like, and how ridiculous we are made by the highest of intelligence. And so from our perspective, it's like, well, I don't really like that. We don't like the highest of perfection. And so we have yet to move into that. So we encourage everyone to understand who you are so that we can move into this experience. This is our world. This is our sun. This is our earth. We can sit upon this earth under the sun and call forth our power. We can give our children, our sons, and our partners and our fathers that which we have in us. Once we develop our honor, respect, and gratitude, then we have it available to give. Until we do that, we don't actually have it. The things that are necessary for the masculine to develop are integrity. Do we see integrity in our world? Are the major corporations treating us right? Are our governments doing what they should be doing by us? Do we see the integrity? Do we see people disciplined in the middle of the night on the internet? Are we seeing action that lets us know that there are those who are in support of who and what we are as humanity, as human? We are one. So this is not an attack. This is a truth telling. Let me be known as a truth teller. I am not telling lies. So I'm not sure if I answered that.
No, you did. It took me a few different places, and I see the chats lighten up a little bit from the response. I like what you said about how this idea of creating our future with the recognition of the necessity of both masculine and feminine and their respective roles, so to say. I'm going to use that loosely. And I can see people out there turning a new leaf, so to say, changing their perception off of the indoctrination that has happened. And like men alike, it's not a lot, but some of us are out there. I do see a stretching and a realization and a pulling away.
Yes.
And I can see where that's needed. But at the same time, for some reason, I thought about, and you kind of touch about this in your book, where there's realities that are kind of created for us through movies and through film. But what I see is what you shared as a reality. It requires us to kind of separate from a path that's been made for us. Would you speak a little bit about that?
The stretch to be the greatest thing that you can be. When my guidance talks to me, one of the things that is often shared, which I like to embody, is I must gain what there is to be gained. That does not mean that I should take what someone else has. It means that I should grow as much as I can grow. I can be more than the ascended understanding in this world. There are stars that exist as consciousness of beings that were once like we are. If we had been taught that, we would be further along the line of matriculation towards our ascension into being the light in the night sky that can be the path for those to follow. There are things that we don't even know to hope for. We are not dreaming big enough. We're needing to know that there is whatever we think it can be because we said so. That's what manifestation is, because I said so. That's how that should be. I'm going to be greater because I said, and I will keep my word to myself because I'm a truth teller. I will be more. And you may be more too.
I feel like people watching this are going to start shouting this out to the universe. I call for the truth because I said so. I call for the book as I said so.
Feel free to use that's the law. That's the principle. That's the universal principle is, and so it is.
Yeah. And, I think about that sometimes and how you use this. This is a quote from you. In the asking is the giving.
In the asking is the giving.
It's like the very idea of articulating either through thought or through sound, this is what I desire. It's the desire means it's already there. It's already available.
The recognition of the need and then the decision that it is available leads to the asking. So there are already steps that happen before you ask. You don't ask in the middle of, not having had a thought that you're hungry. You have the thought, you decide you're going to eat, and then you start to manifest whatever your food is. It's the same idea. What wells up in you to be treated better, to be greater, to have better experiences is the asking. It's like, this is not for me. I need something greater, better. I deserve more. I am more. I want to not have the experience of my mothers and my grandmothers and my great-grandmothers. I am evolving. The purpose of life is to evolve. I will have more of the experience I want to have, more joy, more happiness, more love. I want to be cherished. I'm calling to be cherished. In the asking, I expect the giving. I expect to be cherished any minute.
Yeah. Where's that?
Absolutely. That's exactly it.
So with that, though, I feel it comes knowingness as like a prerequisite. What's your thoughts on that?
The knowingness is something that grows,
or then what about maybe faith? Something that, because the idea of, the reason why I'm bringing this up is because I know everybody's gonna be trying this. In the chat, I think they're already throwing down comments. But how do we make sure we stay in harmony and alignment with that? Because I can see where, like, our doubt of, is it really that way, or is it, how do we get out of our way?
It is very important that you understand that what you see is you. Everything you're seeing is a reflection. If you do not value you, you will run into people who show you how little value you have for you. If your North Star is that you will relentlessly pursue your elevation, and how you think of yourself, then you will relentlessly see the mirror that shows that to you. Everybody will be like, ooh, you really it. Once you begin to think it, it doesn't happen the other way around. You cannot give what you do not have. We must cultivate this idea of our own value. The way to cultivate value is to acquire victories. So if you get up this morning and your goal is to drink a gallon of water, if you drink half a gallon, that's a victory. Write it down, memorialize it. I did it, I got my water, and then each day add on to that, add on your victories. And as your victories add, so your value adds in your own mind. It's not a victory for your neighbor. It's the victory inside of you that makes you grow greater. Once we do that, once we truly love and cherish ourselves, it's a wrap. It's a wrap. Our children will treat us better. Our parents will treat us better. It will be a better understanding, but it is an internal experience. It is not external. So even the things that we see that we know that we didn't think, it may be being informed through our ancestry. Think about your mother or your grandmother. Are we reliving their experiences of pain and suffering? Are we reliving the lies and the abuse that they went through because it's still living in us because we have not addressed ourselves yet? So that's the solution.
All right. I'm going to go to the chat. Thank you so much. We could spend a long time. Our goal was to do a 20-minute live session. We're 26 minutes in. The camera's getting warm. I want to jump into the comments and just acknowledge people. And again, first off, we thank you all for joining us for the first live stream. We're going to keep doing this. Just stay tuned. And again, click the little bell so you can get those notifications. But who do we have in the chat? Oh, there's so much commentary. LaKinta Mao says, they depicted this, which she speaks of, in the movie Avatar. I think it was when you were talking about the mother and the feminine principle.
Yes, yes. The truth is being shown to us in a fictional way so that we can think, that was a movie. We don't have no expectation of experiencing that. It is the truth. Don't let the trick of thinking it's fictional be your reality.
Yeah, I can see where that's where the magic comes in.
That's where the magic comes in. Everything, the words are slightly twisted just enough to get you thinking something that it's not you, but it's a thing, but it's not for you.
Yeah.
That's for them.
Right. Yeah. What such weird thing. But then at the same time, it's showing you.
Absolutely.
It's so wild.
And it's making us insane. It's making us quite insane.
Yes. We got Sarah Cruz. Much gratitude to your leadership. Right on time to align.
Yay.
Thank you, Sarah. She says, I completely resonate with what you say. Heart emojis. We got bless it all day. That's the name of the profile. Amazing to see this live. Yes. Thank you for joining us. Lauren Cornell. Yes, she says yes. Thanks, Lauren. RBTC, forever evolving.
Yes.
Samira, love this live. Julianne, yes, it's an internal experience of our self-respect.
Yes.
Sarah Cruz says, thank you to be here. Jamal Stokes, yes, indeed, that is true. All right, now everybody want to keep commenting. Shout me out. The rest of this just ends up becoming a shout out. All right, I'm going to do this really quick. Stop commenting. Greetings from Boston. DJAT.
Yay.
And Dr. Eliza Carter. In the asking is the giving. They put like 6 green hearts.
Oh, absolutely.
So, again, thank you all for joining us. We're going to continue this. Stay tuned. You have any final remarks before we go?
Call for the truth.
Yeah. Speaking of which, LaOta's book, Call for the Truth, it is on the Other Sun website. You can also find this on Amazon as well. Go to our website instead. Anywho, so again, thank you all for joining us, and we leave you in Lakesh and Veritas with honor, respect, and gratitude.
Thank you. Honor, respect, and gratitude.